All right, we are live. Um, Hello, everyone, for tuning in. This is Humphrey,
And I'm Alec.
and welcome to our first podcast for Geared. Some of you guys are actually pretty loyal follower of Gear because some of you text me today, "Hey, Humphrey, where's the podcast that you have mentioned at the beginning?" I was like, "Good question," because we're recording tonight, and that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I've had some of you guys text me too, and yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenge to get things situated, but we're here, and we're happy to have something for you guys, and we hope that you like what we have. So
Yeah,
welcome and
absolutely.
thanks for coming.
Yeah, so for some of you guys are watching this, and you can tell from my background, you probably some of your motorsport fans will recognize what kind of car that is. And that is a McLaren Formula One car back in the days that, oh, that's my seat. That is Ayrton Senna, one of, if not the most talented Formula One driver ever in the history. Um, yes, he used to race for McLaren. And that leads us to our topic tonight. What are we going to talk about, Alec?
Well, unfortunately, we're not talking about the McLaren Senna for all you guys who were thinking that. We're actually going to be talking about the McLaren F1 and its spiritual successor, if you will, the Gordon Murray T.50.
Yeah,
So
right. All right, let's
we're
dive
super
into it. We
excited.
got we
Yeah.
got a lot of interesting information to tell you guys tonight. So yeah, let's just dive into it. So first of all, who is Gordon Murray? Okay, I don't know who that is until I took a like really deep dive into McLaren history. So Gordon Murray, he was the technical director, I believe, of a Brabham Formula One um, team, and what made him famous was that he designed a Formula One car, quote unquote, called the fan car. Because if you look it up, there's a big old fan in the back of the car, and basically how that work is they put side skirts on the side of Formula One cars and to seals off the airflow underneath, and they just use a fan to pull the air out as fast as it can. So basically a vacuum cleaner on a racing track. And what
Mm-hmm.
incredible thing about this that his car on the debut race, his car was able to take turns 30 miles per hour faster than his competitors. And guess what? The driver for Brabham Formula One team was Alec. Take a guess. You already know.
Nicky Lauda.
Niki Lauda. He is definitely one of the most successful, one of the most talented. Actually, there's a movie about Niki Lauda, well, and his friend James. It's called Rush, right? Yeah, Rush.
And that movie focuses on their battle for the 1975-76 seasons.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, Nicky Lauda actually moved from Ferrari to, I don't want to say this wrong, Babram. And
We're still trying to figure out
yeah,
how to say his Formula One team name.
we're not,
I think it's
yeah,
Brabham.
Brabham. Yeah, we're not British. We're sorry.
All
But
because we can probably have a Chinese here.
yeah, but so anyway, so Nikki actually jumped to that team, and there was it was a little bit afterwards, and that car actually, yes, it did win its first and only race. It it actually won by a healthy margin too.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That,
and it got banned because one, it was just way too fast. It just made things not fair for anyone else.
yeah, if I
Two,
was the other team, I will be protesting down the paddock for sure.
Oh
But
yeah,
have you
yeah.
heard that Niki Lauda actually was very scared to take that car on the track because apparently because it generates so much downforce, it's actually very hard to control on some of the turns, which is that's just incredible. That just shows you how good a driver Niki was. But
Oh yeah.
so that's
And yeah.
that I was telling you the Formula One background of Gordon Murray just shows that just tells you that Gordon Murray knows knows how to design fast cars. I mean, heck, he designed a Formula One car that was so good at Bennett. How cool is that? So
Yeah.
I think we're just that's kind of like leads us to the next segment, which is our one of two cars we're going to talk about tonight is McLaren F1. Um, so Bruce McLaren, obviously, he started McLaren company, and but he was like into motorsport, kind of like for Enzo Ferrari, like they are just all about racing, winning races, getting on the podium. However, Bruce McLaren always wanted to build like a road legal production car to bring that enjoyment, that excitement from Formula One track to a you know everyday lifestyle. Sadly, Bruce McLaren never achieved that goal in his life as he passed away in one of his races. But Gordon Murray kind of carry on the torch and design. I think many of us will agree that one of the most insanely engineered road legal car to this day. And I'm pretty sure McLaren F1 are still the fastest naturally aspirated car in the history, right? To this day.
As of now, yeah, yeah, they are.
So speak of that, McLaren, funny story. So McLaren F1, their engine was supplied by Honda, but Gordon Murray had such a picky spec sheet when he kind of handed out to engine designers. Honda was actually they didn't agree to build that engine, um, which surprisingly BMW took on the quest of building this high revving, naturally aspirated V12 6-liter engine, and it turned out it has a 630 horsepower ish. I mean, compared to modern day, it's not a whole lot of horsepower, but that just shows you like for a car to drive fast on the track, horsepower is not everything. Um, so which leads to the next point of how lightweight McLaren F1 is. Alec, I think you know this. McLaren F1 is one of the first production car used monocoque. Basically, hey, go ahead. You tell people what a monocoque is.
Uh, no, I think you should.
Thanks.
I'll get more into it later.
Yeah,
So
thank you for giving the spotlight. But
you're
so
welcome.
basically, the entire body of the car are in one piece. That's where the model coming from. Their entire piece aluminum body and with layers after layers of carbon fiber to make it stronger and more rigid, and which is extremely lightweight. And then turns out the whole car is about 2,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds, I believe, which is that is incredibly light. Despite that car came out what late 80s, right?
The F1 came out in the 90s. Came out in the mid 90s.
Okay, well, fact check myself on that one.
Le
But
Mans winner in 95. So
yeah, yes, they did end up taking that car to racing. I think that's the car called McLaren F1 GTR. They took it to Le Mans, which they won it out, which is just tells you how incredible the machine it is. And so that's kind of like the oh yeah. Also, fun fact: the engine exhaust because it's mid-engine, exhaust pipes in the back, and then the material they made for the exhaust was a very interesting material because Gordon Murray want the exhaust pipe actually become a rigid piece, almost acting like a bumper to your car just in case someone run into you. However, the material he used that has very tricky properties under extreme heat. So to encounter that, if you ever get to see a McLaren F1, go to the back and you'll see there will be gold, literally gold on this car because gold foil is extremely effective. Was it heat reflector? Yes. Yeah, that just tells you he really just went all in. And then the funny part here comes to the funny story. McLaren F1 was so over budget. The tail lights and the headlamp was literally purchased from British bus company. They were just, I guess, it was retired that bus, and Gordon's like, heck, we'll take them. So that's funny because some of the McLaren owner actually quote unquote complaining about it. Oh, I'm paying all this money for a bus lamp on my car, but it's not funny. But today, McLaren F1 recently one was auctioned off for $24 million. That is a lot of money for a car. What's another interesting? Oh, how did I forget about this? McLaren F1 center seat. I think that is one of the, if not the only production car that at least well known to people as a center seat, and because obviously, what else? What other cars have center seat? Formula One. That's definitely where Gordon got his inspiration from. And then, oh yeah, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean literally crushed his McLaren F1, not once but twice. Oh, it is crazy. Oh yeah, because none of the McLaren F1 has any of the electronic stuff. No ABS, no traction control, no stability control. You basically, when you're driving that car, you're on your own.
It's all manual. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, obviously manual.
yeah.
So
So I got a fun fact too that maybe you know, Humphrey, but maybe some of you guys know too, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I haven't asked. So, but so how do you think that buyers in America are able to get their McLarens maintenance? Do you think they ship them to Europe? How do you think they get it done?
oh, they don't ship the car, they ship the people over, right?
You're partially correct.
Dang it.
They sometimes ship the people over, but there is actually one guy, just one guy, who is certified by McLaren to work on F1s in North America.
Really?
Yeah. So he is the guy.
Oh,
I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but I remember seeing this on Jalopnik. And I also remember seeing that if you do get your McLaren worked on, if even in England, they have to use a computer from the 90s
oh yeah, I heard about
in
that.
order to actually do work on it.
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, everything is too new. It's not compatible. So
yeah,
it is a car but it is a car before its time, and it is a car of its time. It's a
absolutely.
very, very unique car with some very funny quirks. And as Humphrey was saying about Mr. Bean, another famous owner that most of you probably know of is Mr. Elon Musk.
Yeah, he daily drive his F1, right?
I believe he did. Yeah,
Wait, did he crash it? I think he crashed it once, right?
I think he did, and I think he got rid of it.
This
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I think
I
you're
didn't
clear
research
about
the
that.
F1, but
That's funny.
yeah. So I don't know. It's a very interesting car. A lot of great stories that go with it. And if you're ever lucky enough to see one, snap a picture, send it to us. We're more than happy to share it with the rest of you guys and give you credit for it.
Absolutely.
And
Wait, how
then
many were
maybe
there
we could
built?
talk to you
There's
about it.
only 102?
I believe it was about 106. And that includes the long tails and the GTRs.
Oh, I got you.
So
There's a truly unicorn for y'all lucky ones, whoever be able to spot it. Hey, before Alec takes over, let me just give you a couple more spec sheets for the car. So the 0 to 60 acceleration is 3.2 seconds, and this is in the 90s. Okay, and
so that's like 1.9 now.
we'll get into that. And then top speed with the rev limiter on 231 miles per hour in the 90s. Okay, that is incredible. That's my alarm.
What about with the rev limiter off?
Oh, that give you 11 more horses, 11 more top speed, 242.96 to be exact.
And how many cars are faster than that now? Probably still count them all in one hand, right?
Yeah, seriously. Well, I mean, Bugatti, obviously. Koenigsegg is up there. Are we counting the SCC?
We'll put an at-risk by it. It's not verified.
Not verified, but they were aiming for 300, 318, right? So that's pretty incredible.
And then there's one more that I know of.
Hey, I gotta go on. What about those cars? That one Porsche from Midnight Club.
That's true.
Yeah, he
I
was
was thinking
going
of
for it.
Hennessy.
Oh yeah, Hennessy too. They set a record. So, all right, that's enough from McLaren F1 before you guys lose your mind hearing us talking about this one car. But we're gonna dive into the Gordon Murray automobile. Go.
All right, so I guess it's my turn to talk now. So, yay!
Hey.
So
Don't do that again.
this is for those of you wondering what the heck is going on. We our dynamic is sometimes very funny, laid back, and so yeah, it's just kind of and Humphrey having his invisible drink there, whatever that was. So
It's our first podcast, so have fun with it.
yeah, of course. So yeah, so we talked about the F1, and that was really cool. It's a great car. It's definitely one of the best in the world. But how can it be better? That's a question a lot of people wondered for a long time. You thought of cars like the McLaren P1 that was on paper a lot like the F1, but not quite there. There was the Speedtail, which is also a lot like the F1, had the center driving position. Humphrey's got a diecast model of both of them right there.
It's a Speedtail. Not quite.
Those cars were good. They were good at specific things that the F1 did. The Speedtail was a spiritual successor in terms of top speed. It's one of the few cars that has a faster top speed than the F1. The P1 was kind of the F1's racing successor. It never went to Le Mans or anything, but in terms of just being on the track, it was a phenomenal car. That the P1 GTR, and even the Senna too. They're all kind of successors, and they're all fantastic. But no car has truly been an F1 successor.
Yeah. That's
No car had the formula until recently.
Mhm. Ooh, this is where we
Now,
get excited.
so our guy Gordon Murray, after he designed the F1, he eventually left McLaren, and the F1 was the only car that they designed and released until about 2012 when they
Yeah.
started releasing road cars again. But Gordon Murray was not on their team. What was he doing? So he was going out and working on other projects. These projects ranged from concept cars to city transportation and efficient transportation to his own personal projects. And some of these included the iStream production cycle, which made a monochrome production become a lot easier. He designed a Yamaha sports car, and it was supposed to be the first car to use this. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. A lot of people thought that was going to be the F1 successor. But now here's where the T50 steps in. Gordon Murray had his own design brand, Gordon Murray Design, which is essentially it's his own personal design firm, and auto companies hire him and that firm to design cars for them.
Similar to the Pinfania.
Yeah, Pinafara.
We're not Italian, so we're just trying our best here. Okay.
Yeah, please correct us if any of you know, but so yeah, essentially they're kind of like that, and he created a brand new branch of that called Gordon Murray Automotive, and it is essentially cars designed by Gordon Murray and built by Gordon Murray and his team. Their first car is the T50. Now the T50 is
how stupid.
It's you're good. It's something special.
I am truly excited though, because this is really something that I think as car enthusiasts, something that we have only to dream of, to look at basically a F1 successor. But yeah.
Yeah, and this car is truly something unique, and it's not really out yet. No one really knows much about other than what's been said on Gordon Murray Automotive's website or Cosworth's website. So there will be more information as we learn about it more. Like, for example, we don't know the top speed, unfortunately, but we do know some stuff. And let me just tell you a little bit about that right now. So this car was obviously designed by Gordon Murray and created by Gordon Murray Automotive with Cosworth helping. Cosworth is a very, very famous company in terms of making engines. They're British. They are famous for making engines for Ford in the 90s.
The RS,
for the rally cars.
Yeah, the RS 200. What a car.
Yeah, and their engines win a lot. They actually did actually helped create the Aston Martin Valkyrie's engine as well, and we will get into that in another video. But
that's a V12, right?
It is very similar to the T50s. So it's interesting. There are two cars that are on the same scope, and maybe we'll be able to do a comparison sometime.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Valkyrie, I think what a lot of us have seen the pictures. It's a very strange looking car. Like, it's almost like, yeah, we don't have to get into it, but I would definitely like to see them side by side, maybe some lap record times.
I'm sure someone will put them side by side eventually,
Yeah.
or maybe we would somehow. We'll see. But
But hey,
you never know. But so anyway, the T50 has a road version and a track version, similar to the F1 and F1 GTR.
I got you guys. I got you guys. Boom.
Oh, thank
Look
you,
at that.
Humphrey. That is the T50 in his background. That's one of the press pictures.
Yep.
I think it's a good looking car.
Very good looking car. I mean,
If you guys, or go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, because while I was watching the release video, I mean, F1 wasn't a big car either, and this one, when Gordon, how tall is he? I feel like he's like at least 6'4", 6'3" or something. When he
He's
was
taller than me.
okay, Alex. A lot of people taller than you. I'm just saying. But yeah, when in the video when he was standing right next to the T50, man, that car looks like, I feel like that car is like a Miata, but like a little bigger in a modern styling hypercar, or you call it supercar, whatever you call it. But yeah, it's not a big car, not a big car at all.
No, it's not. It's a very small car. I believe it's actually, yeah, it's about a little bit bigger than a Miata. Can't be much different than the size of the F1. But this car weighs 980 kilograms in its road version form. It is roughly 4,349 millimeters long, 1850 millimeters wide, and just barely over 1,150 millimeters tall. So it's a little car. So think about that.
Yeah, it's about like what, four? You said 4,000 some millimeters. That's 4 meters, right?
Yeah, it is. It is small.
What was the exact number?
4349.
Yeah, that's 4.3 meters. What?
So yeah, it is small. It's barely taller than a meter stick. The one that your teacher whacks at the board, you know. So it is a very small car, but that's one of the things that makes it so unique and so cool. The engine actually also is fairly small. It's only 178 kilograms. And that sounds like a lot, but most engines weigh that or more if they're a fairly big engine, like a V8. And this is a V12.
Yeah,
So
also
think about that.
this is a V12. That was another more cylinders. And also, I looked up. So I drive a Ford Focus hatchback. You know, I think people all see now on the road. That is 4,300. So they are about to the same. They're about the same size, like lengthwise, which is nuts. Having a V12 sitting behind you.
Mm-hmm. It is literally you and the engine, and that's about it. But in true spirit of old Formula One cars, I think that's great. So this engine creates 650 horsepower at its maximum RPM of 11,500.
Scream.
So it is slightly more powerful than the F1, and the engine is a monster.
Oh yeah.
Did I also mention it's naturally aspirated?
Woo. You can't get better than that. Come on, like when Porsche 911 GT3, the new one just came out, I made a post on LinkedIn. I was just praising how Porsche has kept a naturally aspirated engine at 6-speed manual transmission. Like, as a car enthusiast, this is like the 1-2 punch. If you want a car that's fun and that lives a performance spirit, a racing spirit, this is the package for you. And nowadays, it is extremely difficult to buy a car that offers manual transmission and naturally aspirated engine.
Well, guess what I'm about to talk about next? This the T50, funny enough, comes with a 6-speed manual, H pattern transmission.
Sir.
It is truly old school in that sense, and it's another thing that makes it so great. You know,
Yeah.
Gordon Murray, when he designed this, he was thinking not of high-end performance, not of fastest track times or highest top speed. He just wanted it to be a car that a driver can enjoy and experience.
Absolutely.
And with everything that we have gone over, it is very evident that this car is definitely going to achieve its mission once it is out in the public
Yeah.
shortly.
Yeah.
And another thing, so I mentioned how this is like the successor to the F1. You see some of the similarities. You see the V12. You see the driver focus and the look, especially if you just put the two side by side. It's
Oh,
not hard to tell. But this car has a central driving position. It's got the same layout as the F1, and it is really, really, really awesome. And then another thing that makes this crazy. So it only weighs 980 kilograms. So what do you guys are like, what does that mean in pounds? You know, like we don't really do that kind of thing.
that's me. That's me. I got a 60 on my chemistry exam when I first came to America because I couldn't figure out the conversion.
So yeah, how is the weight relevant and the power relevant? Well, you have 650 horsepower, you have 980 kilograms. And there's a British unit called PS that roughly translates to almost 1 to 1. Not quite, it's like 9.85.
Yeah.
But if we do a little bit of rounding, the power to weight ratio on this car per ton, which is a unit that everybody can understand, is 670, roughly. I believe 672. We'll just say 670 for rounding purposes. It is insane.
Yeah. Wow. That's
That just tells you how light this car is.
yeah, that is some numbers you would definitely find like the modern Miatas or the Arbas or Fiat Fiat Arbas, like those tiny little monster hot hatch Corolla, the GR is about to come out, or Yaris GR, and those are very very fun cars to drive because they're so light and they just have enough horsepower to move them around. And now imagine a 600 horsepower car has the same feeling. It's
It is.
hard to comprehend, something that capable,
Mhm. If you had asked me that a car like this would exist 10 years ago, I would have probably said that's not going to happen.
No.
But here we are, and this is definitely something that is incredibly special. And it carries on the tradition of the F1 in not just the way not in the way that it's designed, not just in the way that it looks on paper with the stat sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
This baby's got a carbon fiber monocoque, so it is built the exact same way that the F1 was.
Yep.
But this one also uses advanced part binding technology in order to make the process better, and it's essentially a modernized process
Oh
for
yeah.
carbon fiber.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, how much is the thing cost?
That's a good question.
I think
I
about like $4 million.
I believe so. I believe the road version was 2.5, 2.3, and the the T50S is about 4.1.
Hold on. Google is our best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was right. $4.1 million for the T50.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is
Yeah. That's a big
definitely.
chunk of change, guys.
Yeah, definitely not something that you can, not a Miata you can just run a Mazda lot bike these days.
Hey, but think of it this way: you can buy 6 of these instead of one F1 or 4. Yes, 6 of these. Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. I just fact checked myself. F1 auction lately, $14 million. So big correction, not
Uh,
25, 14, but still, but still.
okay. You can buy 3 2/3.
Yo, Alex, you forgot to mention one big thing, and then we're gonna mention this, and then we're gonna move to the T50S, which I'm about to show you
Yep.
guys right now. Is you see that? You see what's over there? That looks familiar. I think we all seen that
Yeah.
in our household, right? That is a fan. Okay. Gordon Murray put a fan on T50 and T50S, and this fan are fortunately is not as aggressive as what a the fan car was in the Formula One to suck the air out of the underneath of the car. This fan was actually created to make the airflow more streamlined, kind of like reduce the drag in the back of the car, so it will be more effectively to cut through the air. So basically, almost like a cleaner, like a stream air cleaner, which is very
Mhm.
clever. And then so in T50, that will be adjustable. The fan speed will be adjusted to the speed of your driving. But this T50S you're seeing right now, this baby is spinning all the time. But the minute you switch on the car, that fan is spinning full speed. And yeah, Alec, let's dive into T50S.
Yeah. All right. Well, yep. Thanks, Humphrey, for mentioning the fan. And yeah, I really like that how it brings the how it kind of brings Gordon Murray's whole career kind of full circle.
Yeah,
He has taken the best from all of his cars of the past and created one one car that essentially has everything, kind of like the greatest hits album, but better, you know. So, but yeah, so this is the it is the T50S. It is the think of it as like the F1 GTR. It is a track only race car, but it's not legal in any racing series, mainly because of the fan. But
as it
there are
was
probably,
before.
yeah,
Hey,
but probably uh, other reasons.
hey, speak of a full circle. You want to touch on the name of this car, the actual full name of this car?
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
um,
got excited.
no, it's all good. Be as excited as you want. But Humphrey is right. So you know how we mentioned that a certain driver drove the fan car to victory?
Hmm?
So guess whose name is on this car?
You guessed it right. Niki Lauda, one of the fastest, most talented driver in Formula One history. Oh,
Yep. And
hey,
so this car, oh,
according to Gordon, he contacted Nikki and all their family are okay with this. So I feel like this is
mhm,
a full, and also Nikki, rest in peace. Niki Lauda passed away, I think 2019, 2019, right?
mhm.
Yeah,
He
sad.
passed away just before the pandemic started.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a true tribulation.
Mhm. But yeah, so this car's full name is the T50S Niki Lauda. It is a beast, and it is something that is just phenomenal. It takes Formula One aerodynamics. You have the fan on the back, the shark fin across the top, the roof scoop, the GT style spoiler,
Yeah.
and splitter on the front. side ducts, air ducts everywhere. This baby generates, I lost it, generates 1,500 kilograms of downforce.
And how much is car weight, Alec?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. It only weighs 852 kilograms.
And if you
So it
fit,
generates double its weight
yeah,
in downforce.
so technically you can drive that car upside down on the tunnel, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Is
this is
truly,
what happened when you have a Formula One winning team, the technical director designing car.
yeah. Makes me
So
wonder what Christian Horner would do.
that's
Oh wait, we have the Valkyrie for that. um, but yeah, so this car is essentially the T50 turned up to an 11.
oh yeah.
It has 711 PS, which is roughly about 710, 709 horsepower. Again, at 11,500 RPM. Think of it as a Dodge Hellcat, but a lot lighter, a lot better at turning, and a lot faster.
Hey, I truly believe, guys. Well, I think we're in America. Too many people often just think about horsepower as everything, and which I don't blame those people because, like I mentioned, we're in America. That's what all Americans are all about: horsepower. However, when you when it comes down to performance, track performance, you have to look at European cars. Not a lot of them has a lot of horsepower. Like the new Porsche 992 just came out. Um, has what 530 horsepower, and they can do 0 to quarter mile 10-second flat. That's extremely fast. So
Especially for a car that power.
yeah, so
And
yeah, 700 for this is plenty.
oh yeah. And I think America is starting to catch on to that a little bit. You had the 4GT, which had 650 horsepower, but it was very fast.
Absolutely.
Now you have the new Corvette, which only has 450 horsepower, but is hanging tough with some of the fastest cars in the world.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they do uh in GTE this year.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna
They have
they
two cars running this year. It's confirmed.
yeah, they won Daytona. They were going to win Sebring last weekend, but they got taken out on at the very end of the race. But that car will be a force to be reckoned with, and it already is. It won the IMSA championship in its first season, and they're taking it to Europe for what potentially could be a full season.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. Hey,
Now, imagine.
we're getting
Oh,
off
go
track.
ahead. No, yeah, I was gonna say, imagine if the T50S entered the hypercar category.
It's just something that we can only dream of.
I don't know. I think that I remember I heard something, and I unfortunately this is a rumor, so I cannot verify it. But I believe Gordon Murray said that if there were enough funds, they would try to get the T50.
You see, guys, money is the problem. I think me and Alex are gonna start a fundraising event just for Gordon Murray and make this happen. So
Hmm.
yeah, donate some money for Gordon Murray so we can see that happen.
But yeah, so now we're getting to the question. The question: T50 or F1?
Yeah, yeah,
Let us know what you guys think. Post it in the comments. Message us. Let us know. We are super excited to hear what you guys have to say, and we're super excited to share with you guys more.
yeah, absolutely. And also, hey, there's a lot of stuff we're covering here. We might or might not messed up a couple numbers in there. So hey, don't beat us up on those numbers. We apologize. Next time we'll do better. We will have a sell sheet open for that reason. But
Yeah, we'll work to refine our process. Hope
but
you bear with us on that.
hey,
But
if you made it this far, DM Geared on Instagram. We will send you merchandise. Wait, did I just say merchandise?
you did just say merchandise.
So yeah, we're thinking about making some stickers. Okay, so we'll start small. We're not gonna make shirts yet, but we're thinking about making some stickers. So yeah, if you made it this far, screenshot it, DM to us. We will send you some stickers once we get them. We're definitely making them, that's for sure. So and yeah, I think this wraps up our first podcast. And thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, we're geared different, and we're most importantly geared with Jesus. Hope you guys have a good week, and God bless.
We'll see you guys soon.